Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brady and Kristen got into a phone argument about seeing Rachel in Horton Town Square. When the call ended, Brady was frustrated. Ava walked over and observed Brady's attitude. He clarified that although Kristen had already taken the young child, he had planned to take Rachel to a play. He thought that Kristen was punishing him by screwing with him. Ava pulled a frown and admitted that she might be held somewhat responsible for Kristen's actions. She apologized for betraying Brady's trust and gave him an update on her heated conversation with Kristen. In light of his own previous unpleasant encounters with Kristen, Brady sympathized with Ava. He surprised Ava by saying that he believed Kristen's erratic behavior stemmed from her perception that Brady was romantically interested in her. Ava acknowledged that Kristen had made fun of her for pursuing other women's husbands, and she acknowledged that Kristen was right. But in the end, she thought the idea of Brady and Kristen together was far-fetched and did not want to worry about her delusions. Brady questioned whether it was so unrealistic to think that two unmarried individuals who liked one another's company may be attracted to one another. Ava wondered whether Brady was suggesting that Kristen's delusions weren't actually that wild. Brady chastised Ava for implying that she could never be attracted to him and confirmed Kristen's delusions. Ava promptly refuted Brady's presumptions and said that although she could see them going beyond friendship in the future, they were still relatively new to one another. Brady recommended they alter that. In addition to asking Ava to dinner, he invited her to the performance of the Nutcracker, which he had first intended to see with Rachel. Brady stated that he would be understanding if Ava chose not to face Kristen's wrath. Ava casually responded that she didn't fear easily and accepted the invitation while leaning closer to Brady. Admire Days, B&B, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. Marlena finished a call at the hospital and offered John's best wishes to someone. Gasping for air, Leo rushed to her and pleaded for an unscheduled therapy session. But more urgently, he wanted to discuss how he'd blown it with Javi and the malicious machinations of that whistling wench, Lady Whistleblower. Leo started talking endlessly about a new wrinkle in his life, and he wasn't referring to his frown lines, as Marlena and he sat down in the waiting room. Leo reminded Marlena about his prior encounter with Carrie and how he hadn't felt a spark with him after she helped him get back on track. A bewildered Marlena attempted to follow along when Leo said he had run into Carrie again, assuming that Leo had taken a fresh interest in her. Marlena's eyes widened when she realized Leo was referring to Javi when he explained that Carrie had been sparking with someone else. Leo asked Marlena to assist him in cleaning up the mess. Then Leo blasted the idea that a hookup hooking up with another hookup may rip a hole in the space-time continuum. He wondered if the locust and omen he had seen in his room had actually been a cricket. A shirtless Javi took Gabby's business calls at Rafe's residence. He informed a caller that Gabby had gone with her ex-boyfriend to Vancouver to pose as her dead frenemy after he had had enough of explaining why she was not there. Then he informed the caller that Gabby was now searching for a homicidal hick. Javi sighed as the caller hung up, saying he hoped Gabby's cover story was more effective than his own. At that moment, Rafe's door was knocked on. After Javi responded, Carrie expressed his want to see Javi once more. The men grinned at each other. Carrie invited Javi out again after expressing how much fun he had on their date. Javi informed Carrie that he was prepared to go right away while ignoring an incoming phone call. Later, while dining together at the Brady pub, Javi and Carrie engaged in light conversation about their favorite singers. As Leo entered, he was in the middle of leaving Rafe a message when he noticed Carrie and Javi laughing together. Javi took Carrie's hand and informed Leo that he hadn't wanted to make another mistake when Leo came over to the table and inquired about the date. He and Carrie planned to take it slow. Leo claimed he only wanted to be able to inform his shrink that Javi had forgiven him, but Javi mocked him for being intrusive and nosy. Leo complained that he had spoiled something good and said he was a funnier person than Carrie. When Leo insulted Carrie, Javi took offense, and Carrie said that at least he had excellent taste. Carrie then disparaged Leo's body and soul writing. Carrie responded to Leo's defense of his work by saying that the new and improved lady whistleblower will soon eliminate the need for anyone to tune in. After a while, Leo stormed out to the bar to watch Carrie and Javi. Chad pushed his gun into Kat's side while whispering to her that they needed to make their ruse look good at the strip club in Vancouver. The door opened when he yelled for Clyde. A woman with her own gun entered as Chad and Kat turned to face it. A startled Kat called the woman Mom. Kat assured Chad that the woman was her mother, Katharina, as she watched them with a terrified look. Katharina sneered that she would identify her own daughter and aimed the gun at Chad and Kat. Katharina didn't believe Kat when she tried to explain that the plastic surgery she had after the accident had changed the way she appeared. She claimed that he had warned her that the two would deceive her. Katharina verified Chad's suspicion that she was referring to Clyde even though Chad had aimed his revolver at her. She was informed by Chad that Clyde was a chronic liar. Kat pleaded with her mother to put down the gun, but Katharina refused to budge. Clyde wanted both of them dead, she said. Kat pleaded with Katharina to focus on her speech and avoid her face. She described how the family was relieved to learn that Katharina had survived the tragedy because they had thought she had died. Kat confirmed that they could all be a family once more and that she could bring her mother home. Katharina became upset and said that Kat's claim was untrue. Katharina insisted on following Clyde's instructions when Chad questioned her about it. Katharina adamantly claimed that Clyde was her friend and had been attempting to protect her, despite Kat's assumption that Clyde had threatened her. Disbelieving, Kat informed Katharina that Clyde had been threatening to murder her. Chad became aware of Katharina's brainwashing. As she maintained she had to do this, Katharina began to shake and became more unsteady. Chad tried to grab the rifle and hurried over to Katharina. A shot went off, and Kat let out a distressed scream. Chad succeeded in tackling Katharina and tying her to a chair with ropes. The fact that her own mother had tried to murder her astounded Kat. Chad informed Kat that they had to leave after receiving an SOS message from JJ on his phone. Because Kat didn't want to abandon her mother, Chad gave her his rifle and warned her to be on guard. Kat promised her mother that she would put things right when Chad left. "I wouldn't believe a word Kat said," Katharina declared. Only Katharina's daughter would be aware of the nickname Kitty Cat, which Katharina had given her, and a particular song that Katharina had sang for Kat as Kat started to recite. Katharina gave her a closer look as Kat showed off a birthmark on her arm. Her voice broke as she said, "You're really Kat?" Kat suppressed a sob and nodded. Kat emphasized that she understood Katharina's sincere apologies for attempting to harm her. When Katharina saw her daughter, she was overjoyed and asked Kat to untie her so she could embrace her.